Hey everybody, I'm back, and we're talking Watchmen again. So, episode 2, here we are. It's Monday. This show, I'm excited about it. I feel like last week, let's be real, let's get real. Let's getting real. Last week was a hard episode to talk about because you just didn't know a lot, and now we still don't know much. But we know a little bit more than we did last week. That's how TV works.
You know, at least an hour more.
Really like 57 minutes, maybe like 54 if you take out credits. So this episode picks up right where last week's episode left off. That's how things normally go with TV. And we are still following Regina King's character, Sister Knight, the cop she's a cop, but she's like a vigilante. She's like a hero. So let's get into some spoiler territory. And if you're watching this video, it's because you watched last week's video and then maybe you watched Watchmen, and now we're watching Watchmen together. Spoilers. Don Johnson is dead.
What?
Yeah. Don Johnson was hung by Lou Gossett Jr. At least that's what he says. And Lou Gossett Jr. is actually the little boy from the beginning of the first episode. Regina King, she finds this old dude in a wheelchair, and Don Johnson's hanging from a tree. He's like, I killed this dude. She's like, well, I'm taking you in, bruh. She's like, you did not hang this. They go back and forth. She still is not sure that he actually committed this murder because he is 105 years old and in a wheelchair. But he kind of says, hey, you know what? There are some skeletons in this dude's closet. She goes, she kind of investigates, she looks around the house, finds some secrets, some racist secrets. Don Johnson.
What a shocker. I'm not shocked.
There really wasn't. It's like the twist that everyone kind of saw coming. The police are now very upset that their chief is dead, and they kind of start rounding up the Rorschach group, the 7th Cavalry. We don't really see much of, they round them up, they get into like a tiff. That's the last we see of that, but I think we're going to see more of that later, kind of figuring out who killed this guy. Because Regina King, though, it has this face. She's like, you know what? Maybe it was them. But she's really not sure. So she does her own thing, trying to figure out who Lou Gossett Jr. is. Meanwhile, Jeremy Irons, who, again, so perfectly cast as Adrian Veidt, Ozymandias. His kind of story is almost like a vignette within this, which that's what, Watchmen has a lot of stories within stories that they all kind of connect. We have Ozymandias writing this play that he calls The Watchmaker's Son, and then he talks about it in the first episode, and then we get to see his staff put it on, and it's the story of Dr. Manhattan. It's very weird, and it's awesome, but at the same time, you're like, what is happening? And it has nothing to do with the rest of the story. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe that ties in later. If you are familiar with Watchmen, the graphic novel, with Watchmen, the movie, there is some nudity, some blue nudity, and
A blue member?
Yes, there's a
Blue Man group.
I was about to say that. There is a member of the Blue Man group who is in it quite a bit. Not in the TV show as much, but it does make an appearance. There's kind of a running gag that Dr. Manhattan's still on Mars. That's fun, Like every like 10 minutes, it's like, Dr. Manhattan's like, yeah, he's on Mars though. And I'm like, yeah, we know. You've said it. I can't talk enough about how cool this show looks, how cool it sounds. I didn't get to talk about Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross last week. They are doing the score, and it's very futuristic but 80s at the same time. It's very cool. And then there's also like great songs sprinkled in, like they ended this episode with Eggman by the Beastie Boys. And the ending, man, so like she kind of figures out that Regina King finds out that Lou Gossett Jr. is her grandfather. And she's like, you know what, don't care, you're under arrest. And then he's taken away, but he's like, hey, I've got friends in high places. Toby Keith has friends in low places? No, that's not Toby Keith. Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks has friends in low places. Lou Gossett Jr. has friends in high places. And so she takes him out to the car, and then all of a sudden, this magnet just drops on the car. This giant, like junkyard-looking magnet. and picks up the car, and she looks up, and it's like a spaceship, and it pulls them away. And then Eggman by the Beastie Boys starts playing. Perfect ending to me. It's such a weird show, but I love it, you know. And you do get, you know, there's some hints to more hints to the graphic novel, more hints to other characters that may pop up. You can tell that like Damon Lindelof loves Watchmen and he respects it, and you know he knows that he's been cursed by Alan Moore, as we all have been. I feel like I forget I forget a lot of times that I'm watching a Watchmen story until like, you know, they're like, hey, Dr. Manhattan, dude's still on Mars. And Tim Blake Nelson's still killing it. He's got this mustache. It just goes right here. And he talks like this. And like, it's such a weird show, guys. But it's so good. Man, just I'm excited. I'm excited for the next few weeks. Who's watching these Watchmen watches videos? Who? I don't know. Hey guys, it's me again. I'm back. You should like this video, please. Subscribe. Go watch our other videos. Reviews, Survivor reviews, 5 things. Yeah, it's good stuff. Hey.
Hey, you gotta show the logo.
But that's it.
Who holds a cup
Who
like
holds a
that?
cup like this?